Welcome back, my lovely students, grade 4. We will continue together our science lessons with lesson number 5, chapter 6, the second part, which talk about groundwater and clean drinking water. In the beginning, I'd like to notify you this is the last part of lesson number 5. It's still one lesson to finish our curriculum. I need you today, pay me your attention to focus in each part of our today's lesson. It's a very interesting and simple lesson. We will continue together and explore about water and the ground. Let's get started with this slide again. The Earth's water here is consisted of, like we said previously, surface water and groundwater. Today's lesson is about groundwater. Let's get started with groundwater and know more about inside our lesson. Starting with the groundwater definition, it's defined as it's any water that is underground, not in the surface, but in underground. When it rains, water falls and soak into bodies of water. Bodies of water, let me remind you again, the body of water is any place that contains water inside. When we talk about surface water, the body of water like ocean, seas, water, streams, ponds, lakes, and so on. So when it rains, water falls and soak into bodies of water and onto the ground. Here, for groundwater, the rainwater will falls into the body of water and onto the ground as well. The groundwater fills the space and cracks in underground soil and rocks. That's why they go deep inside the ground, because they fill the space and cracks in the underground of soil and rocks. Runoff. Here is another terminology, new one. It's called runoff. What does it mean? Runoff water is the water that falls on the ground and runs into the body of water. So from the definition here, runoff, the water that runs onto the body of water. Stream water, we can describe it as stream water. There is more fresh liquid water in the ground than on the Earth's surface. That we said in the previous lesson. The groundwater has a large amount than Earth's surface water. Groundwater flows slowly through most type of soil. You know that there are many kind of soils, clay and sandy soil, muddy soils. So you have to know that groundwater flows slowly through most type of soil. Groundwater also may flow out of the ground and into a lake, pond, or river. So the groundwater may get back or turn back to the lake and pond and river from the ground. Spring. In fact, spring here not mean season. The season, you know that there are 4 seasons: summer, fall, spring, winter. Spring here doesn't mean a season of year. It's a place where the underground water comes to the surface of the land. So when the groundwater comes to the surface of the land, we call this water or this place spring. People dig wells to reach the stored water underground. So the people need to get the water of underground. How they can do this? They dig wells. They dig big hole on the ground, along down in the ground, to reach the groundwater and to get it easy. So let me ask you another question. I am waiting for somebody to ask me, Mr. Muhammad, where people know that how people knew that there is water underground of this area. In fact, scientists discovered many instruments or tools that easily penetrate the underground to reach the water of underground. So scientists discovered and invented some tools to be easily to get the underground water by using penetrating radiation tools. Turning to another slide of our lesson here about some questions about the previous slide. The question will be verified in the form of identify, infer, determine. So let's get started with the first one here, the identify. What is a spring? Like we said, a spring is not season of year. It's a place where the underground water comes to the surface of the land. Infer mean here, the second one, infer mean conclude, deduce. You have to conclude what you understand after you read the question. How could people find fresh water in a place with no lakes, ponds, or river nearby? If there was no water on the lakes, ponds, or river, like some people live in deserts, it will be difficult to find water, so they could dig a well and find underground water. In fact, people who live in deserts, there is no more water in the desert, so they try to dig a well to find underground water. The third one here in the form of determine. Should you drink fresh water straight from a lake or river? It's a very important point. This point will turn us to the second part of this lesson, which is clean drinking water. So the question is here, should you drink fresh water straight or directly from a lake or river? In fact, no. Nobody can drink fresh water directly from lake or river. Why? Because chemicals can get into the water. There are many chemicals from the rocks, from the human, from the living things, can get through the water. So fresh water usually must be cleaned before using for drinking. Got it? Yes. Turning to another point of our lesson and the second part, which is talk about clean drinking water. Like we said, people need to clean water for drinking and cooking and more activities, but fresh water from the underground and from the surface water bodies is not always clean. For example, water in lakes and rivers can contain germs. Germs is microorganisms like fungi, like viruses, like bacteria. These germs could make people sick. When you drink not clean water, you may be sick because of germs that is inside the water. And chemicals also used to grow crops can wash into bodies of water. So germs first and chemicals is the second reason for being water not clean. Fresh water must usually be cleaned before people can drink it. In some places, people get drinking water from their own wells. They must filter the water to remove the chemicals and dirt. Many cities have water treatment plants. What is the water treatment plants here? Water treatment plant is cleaning process to clean the water and remove dirt and other materials and kill germs. So fresh water from the underground and the surface water but is not clean. We can't drink water directly from the underground or from the surface. Fresh water must be cleaned before people can drink it. People must filter the water to remove chemicals and dirt, and to use the cleaning water for drinking and cooking, bathing, and showering. Some part of the water may be used to irrigate the crops. Many cities have water treatment plants. Treatment plants here, like I said, or water treatment is cleaning process. The process that is used to clean the water from the surface or underground, to remove dirt and other materials and kill germs as well. The clean water after treatment travel in pipes to people's home and business. Now it's clear for you all to know the source of our water, our drinking water, and how our drinking water is processed and cleaned to be drinkable. I will now let you with an explanatory video about the treatment process of drinking water. Enjoy watching, and I hope you understand our today's lesson. See you again in next parts, in next lessons. Bye bye.
Ah, nature. So beautiful and calm.
Hey Splash, did you know that reservoirs like this are one of the places where we get our drinking water?
Wait a minute there. You don't want to drink this stuff. I'm telling you, I've been in a lot of water, including this reservoir. You know what's in there? Fish. You know what they do, right? They
Oh, Splash, don't even go there.
You know, a lot happens to this water before we can drink it.
You're telling me? Hey, I've been cleaned up a few times.
New Jersey American Water's experts work round the clock, removing bacteria, viruses, micropollutants, and other harmful particles from the water you drink. They do such a good job that American Water often provides water service that is better than what the government requires.
The treatment process begins here, at the pumping station.
Pumps draw raw water from reservoirs, lakes, rivers, streams, wells, or underground aquifers. Water travels by pipeline from the pumping station to the treatment facility. The first step in the cleaning process removes sediment and particles from the water with the help of coagulants.
What?
Coagulants are chemicals that act like magnets. They cause particles in the water to stick together. These groups of particles are called floc.
Huh, I didn't know I had it in me.
American Water uses two common processes to separate and remove floc from water. One sinks floc to the bottom of a tank. The other method pumps air into the water and floc, causing residual particles to float to the top. The separation of water and floc is called clarification. With either method, the clarification process removes most of the floc from the water. The next step? Filtration.
Whoa! Hey, watch it! Wow! Can a water droplet get a bruise? Sheesh! Ow! Wow! I just got pushed through layers of activated carbon, sand, and gravel. Please tell me I'm clean.
Yeah, sorry, Splash, you're not completely out of the water. You're filtered, but you might be infected with tiny microorganisms. Don't worry, disinfection doesn't hurt. Chlorine and ozone are just two of the ways we disinfect water at New Jersey American Water.
I love chlorine. It's been disinfecting water and keeping me clean for over a century. But what's ozone?
Ozone is supercharged oxygen. These bubbles scrub and disinfect. Viruses, germs, and fungi don't stand a chance.
Whoa! Hey, that tickles! Stop it already! I'm gonna wet my pants!
Hey, Splash, guess what? You're finally drinking water, ready for distribution to homes and businesses.
Are you sure? How do you know?
New Jersey American Water's certified operators and water quality specialists test and monitor water throughout the treatment process, from source to tap. In fact, we conduct thousands of tests on your drinking water